Hello everyone, let's move on toward the second role of existence. This time we'll discuss what form is, how do we solve the problem of identity, and how sensible objects are made. Let's get right into it. I've explained what form is in the second episode. In short, the identity of an object isn't given only by the matter which constitutes them, otherwise coal and diamond would be the same thing. The difference between coal and diamond stands in how their matter is arranged. As you can see, the sole movement of parts in the object can make that object become something else. To better understand what a form is, here's an example. This is a cat. This is a different kind of cat. This is also a cat. And this is an apple. Why do we recognize the first three as cats but not the last one? Well, according to the English dictionary, a cat is defined as a small domesticated carnivorous mammal with soft fur, a short snout, and retractable claws. But this is a cat and it is not small. Therefore it shouldn't be considered a cat. Same for a cat without fur. We must think of the form of a cat as whatever distinguishes a cat from an apple. But the fact that a big cat or a cat without fur still count as cats is proof that size or the presence of fur are not part of a cat's form. Well, what about being carnivorous? Yeah, there are no cats which can't eat meat. Therefore being carnivorous is a distinguishing trait of cats. But cats aren't the only carnivorous animal, there are plenty other felines. So maybe the answer is DNA, but then a cat hair would also count as an individual cat. And also, how would DNA work for non-living things? We must find something that distinguishes cats from other entities, but that something appears not to be material. Hey, would you look at that? More evidence against materialism. I sure hope no materialist is crying and seething at this video.
This is complete bullshit. You're saying a cat cannot be defined. You're stupid.
Are you able to define a cat?
Yes, a cat is first of all a living thing.
So a dead cat isn't a cat?
Well, yes, but a cat can see. Inanimate objects cannot.
But then a blind cat wouldn't be a cat.
But a cat has paws, and claws, and it has a tail, and—
You're just listing typical attributes cats have. We can remove any of those attributes and still be left with a cat. You keep trying to find ad hoc explanations for your beliefs but you constantly fail. And the fact that your beliefs are not based on solid evidence, but you have to construct that evidence while discussing with others proves that you never actually knew why you believed something. You're a disgrace to the scientific method, because you construct an idea, find evidence that aligns with that idea, and just ignore contradicting evidence with some bullshit excuse. Grow up, accept reality, and stop acting like a 4-year-old throwing a tantrum. Where was I? Oh yeah. It seems logical to think that forms act as the blueprint of entities. They give off the arrangement necessary to construct a certain thing, and they do not stem from materiality. Furthermore, it looks like the human mind has the ability to know forms without being able to explain them, as we first saw. Therefore there is some kind of connection between human mind and forms. Keep this concept in mind. As you may see, forms can vary, and some forms can be more similar to others based on how much they have in common. This means that there is a gradient of objects, and we can represent them as sets. Aristotle called this sets categories. He points out that there can be different categories and, most importantly, that there is an end to the hierarchy of categories. The smallest category you can have is one that contains a primary substance. This cat is a primary substance, while cat is a secondary substance. Aristotle says that substances can vary based on different properties, including time. This means that you are not the same one you were some seconds ago. And do you know what that means? Exactly, none of those ships is the ship of Theseus. This one is the one Theseus used for all of this time, while this one is the one made of the original materials. The ship of Theseus stopped existing the instant after it was completed, because nothing is immune to change. As you can see, forms can be quite tricky to understand, but once you do, they start making a lot more sense. Speaking of understanding, remember how intellect has a special relationship with forms? It seems that intellect is not affected by change. I'm not talking about intelligence, I'm talking about your mind, your consciousness. Even if you go unconscious for a few moments, you do not wake up believing to be a completely different person, you come back completely unchanged. What if you wake up without memory? Of course, you would think you're a different person, but you would still have consciousness and understand that you're a thing. This is very odd, but we may go deeper in it when we will talk about human essence. For now, let's just note that there is a very strong link between form and intellect. Lastly, since formality must have a cause, or it wouldn't exist, formality is eternally generated by the cause. Why eternally? Because even if forms can change, formality cannot be absent, and therefore it is not affected by time. This is all for today, maybe even too much. I don't want to fill your mind with too many concepts at once. Next time we'll see the last role of existence, end. Until then, see you all.